Welcome to Jewish Boy Calls His Mother. I'm your host, Sadia, and this is my mother, Ima. Hello, Ima.
Hello, sweetness.
How was your day?
Baruch Hashem, and I'm sitting here unwinding with my Cabernet Sauvignon.
I think it's Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. Yeah.
I think the N is silent. Is there an N at the end of a Cabernet Sauvignon?
I don't know. I don't speak French.
Okay.
My second language is Spanish.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so we can unwind for this anyway and talk about our day and everything. And I want to talk about what I had for dinner. I made borscht, real borscht.
How'd you do it?
Okay. Well, I remember what happened was the cook at Machon Chana was from Siberia, a Siberian prison camp, actually.
Oh, wow.
And she one time made us real borscht, not this garbage that they sell in the stores that they call borscht. That's not real borscht. It's beet juice. And the way you make real borscht, and furthermore, remember I was talking to you before about the way my parents used to eat borscht. They would take this beet juice that they sell in the stores and eat it on sour cream.
Oh.
And I think I tried it once and threw up on it, but they loved it. They ate it constantly. In fact, when my mother was at the assisted living home, that was one of the things that they served Shabbos afternoon for dinner for the residents. And I don't know why people like this thing, but anyway, the way that real borscht is made is either a chicken or beef stock. And so I took chicken soup and I put pieces of chicken in it, and I put mixed vegetables and fresh garlic and fresh scallions and fresh arugula leaves. And then I added the chicken soup, the parva chicken soup flavoring. I added that to it, plus white pepper and garlic powder and a little salt, and boiled it up. Oh, and then a can of beets, just a regular can of beets, of cut up beets. And it was, wow, it was so good. I've been eating it for the past 3 days. It's been really good.
What have you ever made that you felt like this was like the worst dish you've ever made?
Well, you remember that little sign that you kids bought for me that said, "Dinner is ready when when the smoke alarm goes off"?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
The worst, I don't know, good question. What's the worst thing I ever made? What comes to mind? Oh, well, there were occasions when I was a little too heavy-handed with the salt in my chicken soup. And when I served it, your father, let's put it this way, he said it was like the Dead Sea.
Oh, God.
And he says to me, remember, when it comes to salt, a teaspoon.
Yes.
There's one thing I regretted making, and because I didn't try it out, was your aunt was having her usual annual Hanukkah party. So I wanted to make something like sufganiyot. So I made these how can I say, these dough patties that I baked in the oven. Then I sandwiched jelly between two of these dough patties. And I didn't have a chance to try it out. And I just took it to the party, and
Hello? You're.
And I was. Are we still connected?
You crapped out on me for a hot second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because a phone call came in and I had to shoo it away. Anyway, so later on I tried these out and I went, oh my gosh, it was totally, I don't know, tasteless. I don't know what I did that went wrong, but it was tasteless. And I'm embarrassed that I actually wound up taking it to a party and putting it out for people to eat.
Gross.
Because it was so bad. Yes.
Disgusting.
Yes.
Just the waste.
And then there was also when I first started cooking and first started, I used to make pancakes from scratch.
Yeah, those were good pancakes.
Thank you. But it took a while for me to perfect the method when I was first married, before you were even a preconceived notion.
Hmm.
Don't ask how many pancakes I burned.
Yeah, I don't know.
Totally, totally to a crisp.
I don't see how people burn pancakes. It's a shocker to me.
Very easy. So what it is that there's that fine line where you don't want the pancake to be underdone, because then you have this batter that's just going to ooze through. Although I kind of like it half done. I really do. You know me, I like stuff raw. I love stuff like, half baked. That's my
Half-baked
favorite.
pancake, though, that's disgusting,
Yeah,
though.
I like it. Put delicious. Put jelly or syrup on it. I love that. But anyway, your father was the opposite. He liked things well done. So I was trying to judge when it would be time to flip the pancake. And
Oh,
you have to, it's like when the batter starts to bubble. And when you see the bubbles just starting to slow down, that's the time to flip it over. But I didn't know that. So I didn't want to flip it over too soon. And what can I say?
it didn't go very well.
No, it did not. But in the words of Bubby Donna, she used to say, the first year that you're married, the garbage can gets fed.
Oh,
Quite,
and then eventually,
quite often.
then eventually you find your way and you're able to do a proper cooking.
Yeah. And like I said to your father, just because I'm a woman, does that mean that I innately know how to cook? Like I'm just born with the sense of cooking just because I'm a woman? No. I've got to learn this like any other thing that anybody would learn. It takes time. It takes time. It takes learning. You're not
Just the
born,
waste.
you're not born just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you're automatically born knowing how to cook and sew and keep a house. Come
Of
on.
course, of course, of course, of course. 100%. 100%.
But now that your bachelor years are over, so how was it for you? Like basically taking charge of the house and cooking and sewing, doing stuff like that for yourself.
It doesn't. It is what it is. It's the biggest question is how do you find energy after a long day of working? And the answer is you don't. And you have to just push yourself. And sometimes you do everything on Sundays and things like that. And you manage and whatnot. That's the only thing I can think of.
So now you've got a wife, but before you had your wife, when you were responsible just for yourself, which was quite a few years, what did you do did you cook for yourself by scratch or something? Or did you just buy something frozen that you could just pop in the microwave or something like that?
I usually cook from scratch most of the time. I mean, I would get some chicken, get some vegetables, and then just make some quick little meal, and then that'll be it. At one point though, I was in such a mode of just go, 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 go. I wasn't really thinking. And I literally didn't realize, but all I was eating was a power bars during the day and plain chicken at night. And I was doing it over and over and over again, the same thing for a month and a half. And then it got to a point where I was eating and then I was like, oh, this is disgusting. And I started throwing up. Oh God.
Oh no. I remember there was a while where I was making that transition of your father was in Florida, I was in Baltimore. And so there was a few months there when I was just cooking for myself. And what I would do is I would just take either broccoli or spinach, and I would take a raw piece of fish, put it on top of the broccoli or spinach, smother it with olive oil and season all, and just throw it in the microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes. That was it. But I did something last week, something I've always wanted to do and never did, and decided to go ahead and do it. I took a raw piece of salmon and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I poured soy sauce on it and these type of spices where it's a combination of salt, pepper, garlic, a few other things, one of these, exotic spices, and then just, zipped it up, and let it marinate the entire
Mm.
day. And then when I came home, I ate it raw.
Oh wow. That is that's yeah, that's a no for me. I don't know.
It was delicious, man. It was so good.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. They gotta have a book of raw recipes. That'd be good.
They probably
Raw
do.
rec- Maybe I should contribute to it. Maybe I should buy it.
Yeah, they have raw vegan recipes.
Ooh.
That's what they have. A lot of vegan raw recipes.
Now, how
You know,
about raw meat and fish recipes?
raw meat recipes.
Yeah, raw meat and fish. Wouldn't be Dafka, it's like marinated.
Well, there's like
It's-
beef
you can-
steak tartare and things like that.
What's steak tartare? What is that?
That's raw steak. That's just you mix it with like vinegar and hot sauce and Dijon mustard
Uh-huh.
and whatnot, and you mix it all up and you eat it.
You mean you don't let it like marinate or sit overnight?
No, you
in the
just eat
freezer?
it.
Really? Just bite
Eat it
right.
raw.
That no, that adventurous I'm not going to be, because I saw something on Forensic Files about this boy who came down with this horrible illness, and the doctors were scratching their heads, couldn't figure out how he got this horrible, like really like it was like a toxic parasite. And
Mhm.
finally, he admitted to his parents that he was at a barbecue with some of these kids. He was a Boy Scout. He was at Boy Scout camp having a barbecue, and he actually grabbed a handful of raw ground beef and just ate it.
Yeah, I
And
don't
that's
think you can.
that's where he got this.
I highly doubt you can get a parasite, you know, from raw beef.
He
You know?
did. He did. It was very toxic. It was like this toxic type of parasite or
Oh,
bacteria or
a
something.
tapeworm. Yeah, you can get a tapeworm.
It wasn't a tapeworm. It was something worse that he got. It's some sort of like very,
Yeah, the only
how can I
thing that
say it?
comes up is
yeah.
trichinosis.
Unless that's it.
That could
'Cause
be
what-
it, or
Yeah.
you're just watching TV shows that are just made for entertainment and they blow things out of proportion.
Well, but anyway.
Anyways,
So anyway, we're talking about like raw recipes. Oh, so I was at a really nice kiddish in New
Oh, yeah?
York a few months ago, and
Mhm.
they had an actual sushi bar.
Oh wow.
And in front of the sushi bar, they had all these like pieces of raw fish. And so I saw this this nice sized piece of raw tuna,
Yeah.
and I just put it on my plate and grabbed the soy sauce, poured the soy sauce over it, and yummy.
Went to town.
Yes.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Wow.
So at any rate, so let's talk about unwinding after a hard day.
Yeah.
Watching watching Law and Order SVU. Yes.
What was the worst movie you've ever watched? Or
Oh
TV
my
show?
God. I have a whole list of them, man. I'll tell you the truth.
Top three worst movies.
In my opinion, the vast majority of movies I have seen, the vast majority aren't even worth the magnetic tape they are recorded on. Ask me, what are the few really good movies I've seen?
Okay, so what are the good movies?
Now,
you've
there's
seen?
a good question. Okay,
Okay.
the few really good majority of movies I've seen are not. In fact, I bet if you were to canvass most Americans, they would probably tell you the majority of movies they've seen are absolutely ridiculous and not even worth their time. But okay, let me see. What was this one movie I saw last week on YouTube? It was like one of these movies that's free on YouTube. It was an
Yeah.
old movie from the 1960s with Gregory Peck and Christopher Plummer.
I think we've
So-
talked about that movie.
Yeah, you couldn't get better actors. They were amazing.
What was the movie called?
It was called The Scarlet and the Black. It was based on a true story about this Irish priest who he was some big Monsignor in the Vatican. and this was during World War II when the Nazis came to Italy, came to Rome.
Hmm.
And what he did was he got himself involved in saving Jews and in saving escaped American and British prisoners and hiding them. And of course, when the Nazis came to Rome, Christopher Plummer, who was the commandant of Rome, he was the colonel who was in charge of Rome, came to the Pope and to work out basically, you might say, details about how much authority the Nazis would have in Vatican City. And the Pope made it clear to him that the Vatican, that he's neutral and he might not go out of his way to help people, but anybody that can make it into the Vatican is that's holy sanctuary, and that he's going to insist that the Nazis not have any jurisdiction. So Christopher Plummer tells them what they're going to do is they're going to make a large white painted border around where the Vatican authority ends and the city of Rome begins. And he says, he says they won't violate that white line, but he says any of your people that go over that white line to try to help anybody, he says, as far as we're concerned, if we catch them and they're outside of Vatican City, that's it. We're going to do to them what we want. So at one point, Christopher Plummer finds out Gregory Peck, who's this priest, what he's doing, and he wants to go right into Vatican City and arrest him right then and there. The German general, who is Christopher Plummer's boss, tells him absolutely not. He says, if you violate the Vatican, he says, you are going to touch off such a world outrage, such a furor. He says, it's going to be horrible. He says, I can't permit you to do that. So, Gregory Peck, there are many, many times, of course, when he secretly goes over the white line, helps people, and he's working, but there's this woman who's his secretary, and she's helping him too. Like, she has put up her apartment as a sanctuary. So she hides Jews and prisoners in her apartment. And then they have another apartment in Rome that somebody else volunteered where they're hiding people. Needless to say, it's an extremely exciting movie, very, very exciting. And there's one point where, this is really funny. The Germans have captured this young man who's this young Italian man who's part of their underground group, and they have him in prison. And of course, they're going to torture him and interrogate him, whatever. The night before Christopher Plummer is supposed to interrogate him, Gregory Peck, the priest, is at a performance of the opera La Boheme. And the German commandant is there too. The German commandant doesn't quite know everything about Gregory Peck's activities yet. He's suspicious, but he doesn't have it, he's just touched the surface. He's just coming to Rome. So Gregory Peck comes over to him with the program from the opera and says to him, I admire you so much. This is such an honor to meet such a great German leader. He says, please, will you autograph my program? Christopher Plummer, not suspecting anything, says, certainly, it would be an honor. And because this guy, he knows Gregory Peck is very close to the Pope. He's got a lot of power in the Vatican. And he's also kind of, flattered that this big high priest is, admires him so much. So Christopher Plummer, without any hesitation, signs the program. The next day, Christopher Plummer gives orders to his men to bring him the prisoner to interrogate.
Hello?
His men look at him. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Chris, so anyway, so the men, Christopher Plummer's men look at him very strangely and they go, "Sir, he's been released. He was released hours ago." So Christopher Plummer says, "Why was he released?" And they said, "Because you ordered it." He said, "I did no such thing." But they said,
You're missing you.
"Wait a minute, are we connected?"
I'm connecting you now.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me get. I'm starting to lose juice, so let me connect myself. Oh no. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, well, we'll try to tie this thing up. So, Christopher
They all
Plummer.
die and it's in the story.
No, they don't. No, they don't die. So Christopher Plummer says, "I did not order this man released." So they said, "Well, here's the papers and here's your signature." And he looks at the papers and they said, "Isn't this your signature, sir, to release me?" He goes, "Yes, that's my signature." And that's when he realized that Gregory Peck tricked him
Oh, wow.
by having him sign the program. He had something underneath that the orders to release this man, and he didn't realize that he was signing that also. Like he would make a carbon copy or something, but he was signing the papers to release the guy.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so I guess we're getting towards the end of our time, and I'm getting towards the end of my battery.
Yep, that's it. That's our end of our time. That's our time, actually. So, yeah.
Maybe next time we can continue talking about rotten movies or good movies.
All right, well, maybe something else. Maybe something else. But we'll see. We'll see, though. Thank you so much, Ima. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful Shabbos.
Thank you too. Have a good Shabbos, honey. Love you. Mwah.
Love you too.
Thank you for listening to Jewish Boy Calls His Mother episode. Please like and subscribe our Facebook group at Jewish Boy Calls His Mother podcast, and check out our YouTube channel, Jewish Boy Calls His Mother. I know you'd like it, and my mother would appreciate it too.